So last episode, we talked about organizing events from your perspective as the organizer. So now that we've gone through that exercise, go ahead and throw that all out the window. Because here's the truth. The most important perspective is the players. That's the one that really matters. And once you start thinking through their priorities, you may end up wanting to revisit some of the decisions you thought you already had locked in. Hi, my name is Ben. I'm the founder and builder of Pickled.App, the best app for pickleball you've probably never heard of. But I'm here today to try and change that. Now this channel is all about the unsung heroes of pickleball, the organizers. And by organizer, I mean literally anybody who's willing to step up and try and improve things in their local community. Whether that's reducing the chaos at your local park by implementing paddles up, pulling together small tournaments, running fundraisers, charity events, leagues, you name it. These are the people thinking beyond their own game to try and improve the experience for everyone. Now Pickled.App was a tool that was built specifically to support those goals. And while I'd love for you to give it a shot, you're going to find value here whether you use our app or not. So I hope you'll join us as we learn, experiment, and work to host better events. So last episode we talked about organizing events from your perspective as the organizer, establishing your goals, your format, all the stuff that's going to form the backbone of your event. So now that we've gone through that exercise, go ahead and throw that all out the window. Well, I'm just kidding. Sort of. Because here's the truth. The most important perspective is the players. That's the one that really matters. And once you start thinking through their priorities, you may end up wanting to revisit some of the decisions you thought you already had locked in. I believe a mental walkthrough of your event from the perspective of a player is critical and so often overlooked. Because players notice the details. Is the venue easy to get to? Are the courts in good shape? Is there water, shade, snacks? Are there enough courts reserved to keep things flowing? Players are going to want a few minutes to warm up, but they don't want to be waiting around forever, especially in between games. Because once you cool off, it's kind of hard to get that rhythm reestablished. Now at the same time, they don't want to be run into the ground with a bunch of back-to-back matches either. In my personal experience, I think the sweet spot is between 15 and 20 minutes between events. You need enough time to rest, but not enough time to rust. For your convenience, I put together a quick list of what I think are the highest priorities from a player's perspective. Now most of them are pretty obvious, but you'd be surprised how often they're actually overlooked. This list includes things like the initial matchups, or what people call seeding. Players want to feel like they weren't set up to fail right out of the gate. Now you can't always please everyone, but perceived unfairness in early rounds can leave a bad taste in a player's mouth that lasts the whole event. Then there's things like the progression format. Are there clear stages like qualifiers and finals? Or is it just a long blur of games and then all of a sudden a winner's announced? I've been to some of those events. I think most players like a sense of building stakes as they move forward, which brings me to my next point, which is communication. It's huge. At the very least, players should always know who they're playing next and what court they're supposed to be on. And when matches end, there needs to be a quick and obvious way for them to log their scores, and a way for the players to see where they rank after each game is logged. I can't tell you how many events I've been to where nobody really knew where they stood until the end and somebody went into a back room and tallied the results. That kind of takes something away, for me at least. Now, as a quick side note, Pickled.App makes that part super easy. Here's an example of how we use a scoring kiosk in a tablet so players can log their own scores. It's super convenient for them, and easy for us, eliminating a step so all we have to do is validate. And then here's the results display that updates everyone's standings in real time as soon as the scores are logged. But even if you're not using Pickled.App, which I'm not sure why you wouldn't, it's free, but if you're using a spreadsheet or a whiteboard or whatever, the principle is the same. Keep as much information available and accessible to the players as possible. It actually reduces their anxiety and yours too, as well as reducing or completely eliminating the line of people waiting to ask you questions. Again, this is just a quick summary, but there's a full list in the link below. So yeah, thinking through your event from the perspective of a player is not just a nice touch, it's essential if you want people to come back. From warm-up time to downtime, match pacing, clear communication, and fair formats, those little things add up in a player's mind really fast. So a question to all you players out there, what's your biggest pet peeve when it comes to tournaments? Did I miss anything? Or maybe you've got a horror story from an event that you attended. Regardless, please drop your stories or suggestions in the comments section below. I read them all and would be genuinely interested to hear what's worked and what hasn't, from your perspective. Okay, lastly, to remind you that we're a brand new channel. We're working really hard to earn your viewership. According to YouTube, we really just don't even matter until we hit 1,000 subs. So could you do me a huge favor and just please hit that subscribe button? Well, thanks very much for watching. Okay, what are you still doing here? Go play pickleball!